There are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kanyim Somi. If it is your first time joining me, thank you so much for coming, and I hope you've pressed the subscribe button. Guys, please subscribe. Like, it goes a long way and I truly appreciate it once you do. And if you are a regular here, thank you so much for joining me again today. Today's video is going to be about my birth story, as you already know from the title. This video has been long overdue because I gave birth about over 10 months ago, but I feel like it's still relevant because it could help someone that's feeling maybe overwhelmed about childbirth, especially if it's your first time. I know I was, and watching videos like this helped a lot because I sort of prepared myself on what to expect when the day came. So yeah, the only reason I'm sharing this with you guys is maybe to help someone who's about to be a mommy, and congratulations. And yeah, I hope this video does help. Please do give it a thumbs up if you like it, and of course your lovely comments down below are always appreciated. And yeah, let's get the video started. So because this happened quite a while back, I made sure that I make notes so I don't forget anything, and I found that mostly in my sit down videos I end up just rambling if I don't have like a structured plan of what I want to say. So to avoid all of that, to make sure that I give you guys all the relevant information and all the information that is helpful, I made notes. So if you do see me looking down, don't mind me, I'm just reading my notes. Yeah, so I don't miss anything while trying to convey this message. So yeah, let's get started. So I gave birth on Christmas Eve to my little boy Micah. This was over 10 months ago. Yeah, and I gave birth at 6 a.m. in the morning. And sorry guys, so for some strange reason my camera just stopped recording, so I had to quickly fix that. But anyway, so I had my appointment with my OB. The final appointment that I had with him, I was 39 weeks pregnant. This was the Friday before I gave birth. So at this appointment, he basically just did a cervix check. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, so he checks my cervix. Is it effaced? Effacement is basically the thinning of your cervix. So that happens before you dilate, and dilation is when your cervix opens up and gets ready to push the baby out, basically. Yeah, to let the baby out. So at this appointment, I found out that I wasn't effaced like at all, and I wasn't dilated either. So meaning I wasn't really ready for labor as yet, and I was so disappointed because at this point I was extremely tired. Like, I just wanted to give birth. I just wanted to meet my baby boy. I was tired. Like, I was just tired, and I wanted this baby out of me. And the next day, which was the Saturday, yeah, so on the Saturday was my actual due date that was calculated. Now, due dates aren't always accurate. Like, they could be a couple of days or maybe a week off. So although we obviously expected him on that date, I knew that there was a possibility that he could come either after or before. And his dad's birthday is on the 19th, and my mom's birthday actually is on the 19th of December. So that was the date we were wishing and praying for, but it didn't happen. So yeah, that Friday, find out that I'm not effaced, I'm not dilated. So my doctor then suggested that we waited out over the weekend because he was also going on leave, guys. Yeah, it was such a tough thing to give birth in December because everyone was closing. My OB was gonna go on leave, I think a couple of days before I gave birth, or after I gave birth, a couple of days after I gave birth. So he was also just rushing for this, well, not rushing, but he wanted for this to happen to make sure that he's obviously around to deliver the baby. But So that Friday, he had said that if I am not in labor by the next Monday, I need to come in and we need to look at other options. Now, other options were going to be either to get induction, and that is basically when they give you medicine to induce labor, to force labor out, or I was going to get a C-section, which made me very nervous because I was very scared of both those procedures. I mean, I have a friend that had been induced before, and I've read about it. I've watched videos about the pros and cons, about, you know, all these different labor plans, and I didn't like the sound of induction. It sounded extremely painful. My mom was also induced actually with me, because her doctor also needed to go on holiday, and she as well had advised that induction is not nice, like it's very painful. So if I can avoid it, by all means I should. I started researching about how to naturally induce labor. I watched YouTube videos like crazy, and a lot of people were drinking castor oil, and yeah, that basically induced labor for them. And I did consider that, but I was a bit scared because what if something goes wrong? Because also, like, with stories that I was reading online as well about people who drank castor oil to induce labor naturally, and it actually went wrong. So I didn't want that. Like, I considered it, but I was scared. So another option, another thing that I read about was eating pineapple and licorice, so, and bouncing on an exercise ball. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound like anything bad can happen out of it, because it's not medication like castor oil, it's just pineapple and licorice. And if that can induce labor naturally, then let me try it out. I was always on my exercise ball. Like when I was watching TV, instead of sitting on the couch or on the floor, I was always on that ball bouncing, because that helps to loosen up your cervix and to sort of exercise your pelvic area to open up, and which would make it easier for baby to come out. So I had always been using an exercise ball, but this time, because it apparently induced labor, I like made sure I was on that ball bouncing all the time, eating my licorice and my pineapple. Nothing happened that Saturday. Even at night, nothing happened. Oh, and then the Saturday afternoon, I also went for a foot massage, because I had read that there's certain pressure points in your foot that do induce labor naturally as well if they are pressed. So I went to the spa to get a foot massage. Sorry, I'm just having my drink. To get a foot massage, and yeah, that didn't work, so nothing happened that Saturday. Sunday came. I was not giving up, guys. I was like, this baby needs to come out, because I do not want to get induced and I do not want to get a C-section, so this baby better come out. Sunday comes, I continue on my ball, eating my pineapple, eating my licorice, and basically just going about my regular day. I used to take regular walks every day, because that also helps with the labor process. It makes labor a lot easier, a lot quicker if you're active. Then later that evening, I think at around maybe 9, 8:30, 9, I started getting like this weird feeling. Like it felt like Braxton Hicks, but it didn't feel like the Braxton Hicks I was getting throughout my pregnancy, because I started getting Braxton Hicks quite early in my pregnancy. What Braxton Hicks are is basically like practice contractions is what they call them. So that's basically your body getting ready for labor, and this happens long before, I think, I'm not sure from how many weeks it usually happens, but it happens quite early. I think probably in the second trimester is where you start feeling Braxton Hicks. So this felt like one of those, but it was really intense. Like it was intense, but still bearable intense. So I'm like, what could be happening here? But anyway, I just chill out. I don't panic or anything. So I end up going to the restroom. and when I get to the toilet, I see a blood on my underwear, and that's normal. That's called a bloody show. So that means labor has finally started. It's begun. And what I was feeling weren't actually Braxton Hicks, they were contractions. So contractions start minor, and then as time goes on, they build up and build up until they are extremely unbearable. So that's what was happening. Like, you know, labor had started, and I was so excited but so scared at the same time. And I remember running to hubby and saying, oh my gosh, there's blood, I have a bloody show, I think I'm having contractions, I think baby's coming. It was like so exciting, but I'm in pain. And then we stayed at home. I didn't want us to rush to the hospital. So the hospital was about 15 minutes away from home, and I didn't want us to rush to the hospital immediately because, again, I've read, guys, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. I was just researching a lot because I think it's very important to just prepare yourself for what's to come. Although it might not happen the way you planned it, trust me, it's not gonna happen the way you planned it. But it's good to sort of prepare yourself, to know what to expect, to know what to look out for. So read as much as you can, watch as much videos as you can on YouTube. That's what I was doing, and that helped me out a lot in knowing what to do. So I knew that when my contractions started, not to go to the doctor immediately, to the hospital immediately, because sometimes they send you back because it's either a false alarm or you're not that ahead in your labor, you're still far from active labor. So we waited it out. So this was like past 9, maybe like 9:30, until 12. At 12 o'clock, like, my contractions started getting a bit like tougher than they were when they started, and I was like, I don't know how long or how quick my labor is gonna be, so I don't want to have a baby in the car, for example, or be in active labor in the house, and I'm really not sure now. I'm getting scared. Should I go to the hospital? Shouldn't I go to the hospital? So I was like to hubby, no, let's go to the hospital, and if they'll check me, if I'm still far from labor, active labor, then we'll just come back home, because the hospital wasn't so far from the house. So we did that. Guys, on my way to the hospital, these contractions were kicking my ass. They were so painful. Like, I literally couldn't even sit. I just wanted, to do angles and stuff. Like, oh, I wanted to stand in the car. Like, they were getting so tough. But we arrive at the hospital, and then we make our way to the maternity ward. When you get to the hospital, you get whatever midwife is there, and I got the most unpleasant lady ever. And this was after 12, so you can imagine she's probably just like tired. She's not interested in the fact that, dude, I am in labor and I don't know what's happening, help me out, tell me what to do. She wasn't interested in any of that. And obviously when you get to the hospital, the OB isn't available immediately. Your OB only comes once you're in active labor. They call them once you're in active labor and he's ready to basically deliver, he or she is ready to basically deliver the baby. So we get there, and this girl's a young lady, she's like chill, she's like so nonchalant, she doesn't care about anything, like, oh, here's another one. And I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm in labor. She's like, how many weeks are you? I'm like, I'm over 40 weeks, because yeah, I was over 40 weeks, by the way, by then, because I had passed my due date. And then she asked me to stand on the scale. Like, it's such an ordinary, chilled, boring day for her, and I'm just like panicking. I'm in pain. She's trying to get me to sign papers, and I'm just like, dude, like, is this really the time for all of this? I know you're doing your job, but help out. Like, you're not helping me out with anything, and you have a bit of an attitude, and I don't like it, and I don't want to start getting bitchy. Like, it was just a lot. So while all of this is happening, I'm in pain, I need to sign papers, whatever. Then they take us to the labor room. Oh, okay, no, this was before actually. So they take us to the labor room, and then she checks how dilated I am, only to find out I'm not dilated, like, at all. Not even 1 centimeter. Like, I'm not dilated whatsoever. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're gonna send me back home because then I'm not in active labor as yet because I'm not dilated. But why was there blood? Why am I having contractions? Like, what's happening? I'm so confused. So I even asked her, I'm like, are you gonna send me home? And she's like, no, I'm not sending you home. You're just gonna sleep in here, and then we'll wait it out and see where the night takes us. Now, obviously, this is the next day. This is the Monday that I was actually supposed to come in for induction or C-section if I didn't give labor. God is so good. Like, God is great because I gave labor literally on that day. So yeah, she checks, I'm not dilated whatsoever, and then she's just like, yeah, okay, just wait it out. You're gonna chill in here, you're gonna lay down, sleep, relax, call me if you need anything. Like, this lady was so la-di-da about everything, and I just didn't understand why. And then she put that I don't know if you guys have seen, sorry, that it's like a monitor thing that they put on your stomach to monitor the baby's activity and how his heart is beating, his heart rate, and all of that stuff. If he's fine, he's not in a panic, is everything good? So she put that on, and then we just sat in the room. Like, I remember trying to fall asleep, and then obviously through contractions I was like waking up and then trying to fall back to sleep. Now I actually realize why no one can tell you what giving birth actually feels like, what contractions actually feel like, because it's such an out-of-body experience that even after it happens you forget about it. Like, I can't explain that feeling. Like, I can say it's like period pains, but period pains times 10, but that still wouldn't give you an idea of what it actually feels like. I can't explain it. Like, you'll just feel contractions if and when you go through them, but be prepared for the pits. Like, they're very, very painful. They're painful, but you are capable of giving birth. You are capable of making it through those very strong and hard contractions, because that's exactly what we're built for. We're built to carry babies and give birth to them naturally without any medication. That's what we're built for. I mean, not to say that anyone that decides to take medication is less of a woman. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's really painful, but you are more than capable of bearing it. So I end up, like, I continue falling asleep and waking up during contractions, falling asleep and waking up during contractions. Then at around like 4:30 to 5, I think it was, I went to the toilet. I realized that I have lots of blood coming out, like a lot, and I knew you bleed, but I don't think you're supposed to bleed that much. So now I started panicking, like, why is there so much blood? I get back into the room. Hubby was sleeping, so I wake him up and I tell him, I'm like, I have so much blood. So he looks at my like thighs, my legs, and there was my mucus plug. Sorry guys, this is about to get really gross. But it's okay. I hope it's just women on here. Sorry to make you guys uncomfortable if I am. But I had my mucus plug on my thigh, and I had like blood dripping down as well. Now, what a mucus plug is, it's basically what protects the outside world. So the ending of your cervix, there's a plug there that literally looks like mucus. It's very thick and strong. There's a plug there that blocks that from, so it blocks the baby from the outside world, so no bacteria can basically enter or anything. So when the mucus plug falls out, that means you're in active labor, like the baby's getting ready to come out. So now I start panicking because there's so much blood, and here's this thing that's like thick. I don't even know what's going on. Then I tell hubby to go call this nurse that we haven't seen, by the way, since she left us at around 1 a.m. after she checked that I'm not dilated and just told me to relax. She's never come to check me if everything is okay, because you're apparently supposed to come check dilation every 30 minutes because it can happen at any time. It can advance at any time. It can advance quickly, it can advance slowly, like literally anything can happen. And this is exactly what was happening to me, because at 1 a.m. I was not dilated whatsoever, and then now my mucus plug is out. I'm like dreaded in blood, and I'm panicking, and I'm having contractions. Like there's just so much going on. Then this nurse comes back and she checks me. Am I not 8 centimeters dilated when she checks me? Like, she left us for basically 4 or 5 hours, and when she came back I was almost ready to push out. She needs to still call my gynae, my OB, and let him know that, listen, the baby's about to come, you need to get here. So now I obviously see panic in her, because she's like, oh my gosh, you're 8 centimeters dilated. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? Because I wanted an epidural, and you can only get an epidural between 5 centimeters dilation and 7, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what the numbers are, but I remember she said I need to get to 5 centimeters before they can call the anesthesiologist to come and put in the epidural. I wanted an epidural. That was part of my birth plan. Like, I didn't want to go through that pain the entire time. Like, I just wanted something to ease me. And I was so angry that this lady only comes back after 5 hours, and now I'm 8 centimeters dilated and it's too late for me to get an epidural. I was livid, guys. And on top of that, like, I'm having the worst contractions ever. Like, it's like someone's taking me and like ripping me apart, basically. It's really bad. Like, I don't even want to lie to you guys, it's really bad. So she's like, no, it's too late for an epidural, you're 8 centimeters dilated, we can't, you like ready to push now. I just called the OB and he's on his way. And I'm just like, this lady, I think I even, at this point, I even started crying, because I was like, I want an epidural. This pain is too much. I can't handle it. Like, it's a lot. And hubby was just like, you can do it. You're already here. You're already 8 centimeters dilated. You can do it. Just, you know, be calm. Don't panic. Then my gynae gets there, and by the time my gynae gets there, now it's actually time to push. So I was like, my labor was moving on very, very, very quickly. So when I calculate everything from when I started having contractions at home, it took 9 hours for Micah to be born. So that's 9 hours of contractions, and the I think I pushed for about 30 minutes, so the pushing as well, and my labor lasted for 9 hours. Some people go through like 36 hours, some people go through 12, 24, like there's different, it's different for everyone. But I think the fact that I was very active all the way through my pregnancy helped. And I was also eating dates. So you can start eating dates at 37 weeks pregnant. Guys, everything I say, please research yourself. Like, double check everything I'm saying. Don't just take my word for it. But at 37 weeks you can start eating dates, and that helps with making the labor quick as well. Nothing will ever help with taking the pain away. You're gonna feel the pain. Like, you're going to feel the pain. The only thing that takes that away is an epidural. Yeah, that numbs it apparently. I don't know, I've never gotten it, but apparently it numbs the pain. But anyway, so yeah, like when this doctor got there, I was basically ready to push. So now I had to push through every contraction that I was getting. So they would see from the monitor when a contraction is coming, and obviously I would feel it, and I had this natural urge to just push, and he would say push every time I'm having a contraction. And for me, to be honest, like, contractions are very, very, very painful. They are extremely painful. But the worst part for me was actually pushing. Pushing for me was, it was hard. That was the hardest thing about me. It's different for everyone, like some people may differ in opinion, but for me pushing was the worst. And also because Micah was faced the wrong way around, so he was head first, which is how they're supposed to be. Kind of, what's the other one? He wasn't a breached baby, so his head was face down, but then he was, so the baby's face is supposed to face your back in order for them to have normal birth. His face needs to be facing your back. So Micah's face was facing my stomach, which made the pushing out extremely difficult. Like, it was so painful, it was so hard. I was running out of energy. I was just so tired at this point. I've hardly gotten any sleep. Like, I've been up the whole day. My labor started at 9. I didn't get time to sleep. Even though I was trying to take naps, I was obviously waking up in between contractions. So I was exhausted, and there came a point where I gave up. Because also this doctor wasn't, like, the OB and the stupid midwife, they weren't supportive. Like, you know, they weren't. I was expecting like stuff that I see in movies and on YouTube videos. Your guy needs to be like, you know, oh, or like how doulas do it. It's like, oh no, don't worry, just push a little more, you're doing great, darling, you're doing great. That's what I had expected from my OB, and he wasn't giving me any of that. He was like shouting at me like, push this baby out, you better push, we need to get this baby out. And I'm just like, excuse me, like, who do you think you're speaking to like that? Like, can you not see I am trying my level best? Like, I literally said that, like, I'm trying my level best, and at this point I am tired. You guys need to find another way to get this baby out. Whether you're cutting me up, whether you're, I don't care, but I'm tired of pushing. Like, I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm tired, it's painful, and you're being an asshole, and you're not helping me out. And so at this point I was like giving up. I was just like, you know what, you guys need to find another way to get this baby out, because I don't know, like, it's defeating me. So Happy at this point was like, he was there to give me that support that my gynae was actually supposed to give me, which is, listen, I can see the head, it's very, like, you're close, just push a few more times, you can do it, you've come this far, he's almost here, we're about to meet him, you know, like encouraging words like that. And that helped me to actually push and push and push until my baby came out. And yo guys, yo, pushing is hard. Yeah, so by 6:30 in the morning Micah was born, and I kid you not, after you give birth, like, the feeling's not there anymore. Like, you feel nothing. You literally feel nothing. You don't feel like something like that just happened. That's why I'm saying, like, labor is such an out-of-body experience that's why you can't explain the feeling. It's gone. Like, it's gone. And at that moment you're obviously like happy, oh my baby, like, you don't care about anything else. I had a second degree tear, so that's not that bad. So tears come in, and when I say tear, guys, I mean from your, what do they call it? Is it your pen? I can't remember the word, but the space between your vagina and your asshole, that space of skin, that's where you tear. It's called, is it a perineum? Okay, I'm not gonna check, but I forgot what it's called, something with a P. But that area is what tears during labor. Now, some people tear, some people don't. There's a lot of different techniques and ways to make sure that, well, try to make sure that you don't tear. You can always check Google and check YouTube for all that stuff. But I did tear. I had a second degree tear. The tears come in 4 degrees, so 4 different degrees. Yeah, so 4 degrees is the biggest, deepest tear that you can have, which is all the way down from your vagina to your asshole, and then it's deep inside. So that's like a bad tear. I only had a 2 degree tear, and even while they were stitching me, I didn't feel anything. I don't know if they they put something there to numb me, or if just naturally you don't feel anything because so much just happened down there. But yeah, they stitched me up and I was holding my baby. At this point, nothing mattered. I know a lot of mommies are like scared about pooing, about tearing, about all of that stuff. But listen, my advice would be, don't overwhelm yourself with all the noise and all this information that you're reading about how terrible giving birth is. Try not to overwhelm yourself too much about that, because labor is gonna happen the way it's gonna happen. Sometimes it's easy, well, not easy, but sometimes some people will say it's not that bad, some people say it's bad. So just wait for your experience to happen. Gather as much information as you can, have a birth plan in place, you know do you want an epidural, read about side effects of epidurals, read about giving natural birth, what are the side effects, like research. Find out what you want your birth plan to be. Find out what you and your partner or your family is comfortable with. And no matter what, don't let anyone ever make you feel like your decision is the bad decision. Whatever decision you decide to make is best for you. It's best for your family. It's best for your baby. I mean, you're a mommy. You always make the best decision for your child. Listen to your gut feeling. Whatever feels right to you, do it, and don't let anyone tell you or make you feel like you are less of a person because you decided on certain methods that they don't necessarily agree with. You can do it. You are a great mommy, and congratulations, and don't be overwhelmed by giving birth. God intended for us to do this. Trust me. Like, it's scary, it's hard, but you're capable. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today's video, guys. I hope this was really helpful for you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.